Hello, people on YouTube who want to know about guitar stuff. This is Henning Pauli. Why am I introducing myself that way? Because you might be here for the very first time, because you might be a le beginner, as they say in France. Woo! And if you're here for the first time, many things will shock you, like my beautiful knowledge of French, or the amazing cat sweater from cat shirt from Mr. Gugu, or the Glenn is Wrong mug. None of that means anything to you because you're new to guitar, and you'll be here for a while. There's over 2,000 videos to watch. Watch them all, you'll learn a lot. Or not. Something that you don't find on YouTube a lot is reviews of inexpensive beginner guitars, because brands usually want to put their very, very best foot forward and send the really, really cool stuff to YouTubers, so we have the really, really cool stuff. But it's important to make these videos for beginners so that you know what you're getting. Now, I've taught guitar for years. Over 10 years, I think. And I've been in contact with a lot of inexpensive 200, 300 euro beginner guitars and setups, because parents send their little kids to me, and then I had to figure out within a budget to get the case, the stand, the tuner, the guitar, the amp, and the strings and everything you need to get started. Within a confined budget of probably 400 to 500 euro, finding a guitar that works with the player and doesn't get in the way is difficult. One of those instruments that always kind of stood out was the Yamaha Pacifica. Or is it Yamaha? Yamaha. I have no idea. One of those, Pacifica. Now, I have two on the floor, brand new in the box. We're gonna do a whole series of Yamaha guitar videos where I'm taking them out of the box and reacting right here, checking them right out. How are they tuned? How do they come out of the box? Because if you're a beginner and you're buying under 500 or maybe even under 1,000, you might not know how to set up guitars and stuff. So that means it's very important that these come out of the box usable. So I have a couple of cheat sheets here that I printed. We're gonna start with the Pacifica 112 e-guitar, electric guitar, OVS, whatever that means. I don't even know if that's the OVS. That's the color code. Clocks in right now at Thomann at 209. And apparently, well, we'll look at specs in a sec. So I'll take this out. Thank you to the fan who sent me this tool. So these have been checked by Yamaha in Germany, which is good. They don't just come from the factory and go straight to the dealer. Some brands do that, and then the dealer has to do the quality control. No, these actually had stickers on them that said Qualitätskontrolle, which to me means they've been checked by the German team. Now I'm taking, I don't need the instructions. I don't know if anyone ever uses these, but there's a little trem arm in here, and it looks like it's screwed in, which is a cheaper version of making that happen, but that's okay. Now, with more expensive guitars, I will gladly bitch about the fact that they come in a cardboard box. But in this case, come on, this is 200 bucks. This is totally fine that it comes in a cardboard box without a gig bag and all that. Ooh, I don't like red guitars, but that's like a dark red with like sparkles. And this is a nice touch that the strings are wrapped up. I don't know why they are. But that's neat. You usually don't see that with inexpensive guitars. You actually only see that with very expensive guitars. So, let's look at it right here. Alder body, it says. We're gonna look at specs. Already found something I want to bitch about. But first, before we do that, we look at specs. Now, there's of course plastic on the pickups. You know what, I'll take it off. Sorry, Yamaha. I don't know how you say that. Yamaha. Yamaha. No idea. Here you go, come on there. Gotta find the thread. Threading my ass off. Oh, I'm sorry kids, I mean threading my butt off. So, this has an alder body, in German Erle. It's got a bolt-on neck, so the neck is screwed in with these 4 screws. a neck radius of 350 millimeter. Guys, I'm playing guitar for 30 years now, and I don't know what that means. So, you don't care. It's got a 648 millimeter scale length. You don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. It's like, how long is it from here, the nut, to here, the bridge? And well, if that's shorter, the strings are flabbier. If it's longer, the strings are tighter. So scale length has something to do with that. I usually measure it in the fish scale. That's about 2.5 teenage trouts. 1, 2.5. 22 frets, that's the silver things, and you play in between. It's got 2 Yamaha single coils and 1 Yamaha humbucker. Meaning it's a no-name brand. They're calling it Yamaha, but of course someone makes it for them. The thing's $209. You're not gonna have Seymour Duncans or DiMarzio or anything like high-end in there. 5-way switch, which usually on these inexpensive guitars, that's one thing that bugs me, and I don't know why that is, but on inexpensive guitars, that switch always sticks out quite a bit. Let's see here. See how high that sticks out from that pickguard? Pickguard is the white plastic thing. It's kind of weird, because that's not how it is on more expensive guitars. And it's always on these cheap guitars, and I don't understand why. The knob, that knob also sticks out more than this knob. That's... Oh, you just have to push it in more, which they didn't do in wherever that's made. Indonesia. Indonesia is a better country for electric guitars, so that's already kind of like a little bit of a step up. I gotta say, I love the color. Got a shaping here and a shaping there, so it's all like, you know, nice. And comfortable to play. It's got a vintage style tremolo, and I guess this color is red. So, tuners are not locking tuners. You can't expect that in that price range. The tuners are not staggered. Staggered would mean that, if you look here, that as they go up to the higher strings, the tuners would be shorter. So a higher one, and then they would go shorter. Here you can see they're all the same height. Now the shorter would mean that the strings from here, from the nut, would actually have a steeper angle going down. And then you wouldn't need this so much. That's a string tree, and these strings are being pushed down from that so that they're right here in the nut. And what I would bitch about a little bit is the fact that right here, those strings, the D and G string, don't have a string tree, and they're running over the nut relatively flat. Can you see that all the way over here? It's a pretty flat angle. You can see that the 2 high strings are pushed down by the string tree. I kind of feel that those 2 strings would have also benefited from a string tree, because we want the strings to be, you know, pushed down in the nut a little bit. If it's too flat, they might jump out. Other than that, and other than the fingerprints I put on it, we got a plastic thing on the jack plate. That's what it's called. Love the color. Action looks good. Now the first thing we gotta do is we're gonna tune it. For you beginner, tuning is difficult. If the mechaniken or the tuning mechanism is not amazing or not great, then tuning is even more difficult. So usually on inexpensive guitars, that's a double thing. Like, you're not good at it, and the guitar's not good at it. That's not a great idea. So actually, beginner guitars, even more so than professional guitars, should have great tuners. Now, I have a Peterson tuner on the table right here, and well, we can tune that right now. It's at a G. No, what is that? C? That's where we want to be. Now, this is a strobe tuner, which is a little bit different than a tuner that you will probably encounter. Usually, you will have a thing going left and right. This has a circle, so as I tune, I want to make sure this circle stays still. Let's see. Right now, it says it's going down, so that means I got to go a little bit up, and I'm there. So they detuned the guitar a bit for travel, which is normal to loosen the strings. But as you can see, I'm getting to the pitch I want really precisely. So yeah, they work, they're good. I had beginner guitars for students that were literally untunable. Now, of course, once I tuned all the strings, I gotta go back and do the whole thing again and get a little bit more precise. Good. Well, that was actually fairly easy. Okay, already impressive. Now, usually, when you're a beginner, you do not have any of these amps behind me. This guitar is $200. Some of these are way past the 2,000 or 3,000 mark. So, realistically, what you would play with would be a modeling amp of nowadays, like a Line 6 Spider 5, which is pretty decent. As a beginner practice amp, loads of effects, loads of sounds in it, or a Fender LT25, clocks in at 150, you get a Spider also at 150, or maybe watch my Spider 560 Mark II video, that's 269, the amp's a little bit bigger. When I started, we had these little kind of amps that were this big, they were like $50, and we called them Brüllwürfel, like a scream cube, because all they did was horrible sounds. Looks a little bit like this. I've got the Joyo, I don't know what it's called here. So that's a little DC-15. But that is something like a little beginner amp. I think it's already modeling. But just to give you an idea of what something like this looks like, this is something you might have in a beginner kit when you buy this guitar with something together. I'm only hearing it through my vocal mic right there. Or you might start with... I can't do it. I've started right there because of monetizing. So yeah, something like this might be what you're playing with. So yeah, that's pretty horrible. So with a Fender or Line 6, that will be a bigger, fatter sound. But what you might get in a beginner's kit is something like that. So here, we're gonna go in the complete opposite direction. We're gonna go into a very, very high-end amp right there in the corner, that greenish one. That's the Tone King Sky King. Which clocks in at €3,300. But we want to hear this guitar as good as we can and see what it actually will sound like before we go into some less expensive amps. It's clever with very inexpensive tremolos like this, or actually vibratos. When they're floating, meaning they can bend up and down, that's tricky because the guitar might not hold the tuning. Yamaha didn't do that. This is actually sitting on the guitar, so you can't go up, you can only go down, which is already a good idea to keep it in tune better. My idea would be don't even use it. On inexpensive guitars, don't use the trem. decent clean. So right now I'm on this pickup, which is a single coil, and they usually buzz a little bit more, but they're also thinner and wiry sounding. If I go in the next position, it's these two single coils together, and there's something usually being done out of phase, so they're kind of canceling each other out, which gives you a very thin, hollow sound, but a very sweet one. It'll probably take a couple of years for you to hear the difference really well and know how to use that. Now in the middle. I don't know who used that. But now we're in the in-between in the back, which is also thinner and hollower. And then the humbucker, which should be fatter. Limit my output. Let's go in a couple of different amps and see what happens. Like the Marshall SV20H, the Mini Plexi, which is some kind of number here. That's a little bit more rock and roll. That works. We're gonna go into the Morgan AC20, which is kind of a Vox British sound. Really great. Marshall JCM 800 down there. Really classic amp. All works. And it plays really nicely. It's not in my way at all. What else do we have? Let's try the Engel Savage 120. I just got that. on the single coil with the angle, it's a little bit bitey. Okay, and we'll try the, where is it? The Houston Kettner Black Spirit, which is down there, and that's $799, so it's still not in this price range, but it's one of the less expensive amps. Experience with guitars in this price range where you play it and yeah, it works, but the sounds are bitey, they are ultra thin, they are thinner than a big guitar, but they're balanced. It's not like it sounds really horrible on one setting and you just can't use it. No, it's all there. Works for me. Great. We're gonna go up $100 to the 311. Okay. Oh. Okay. Quite a bit of difference for $100. Now this is not painted. But it feels very nice, and it's an alder body. Same idea. Okay, what's happening here? This might be something that Yamaha has like as a test guitar because that's beat up. It's actually beat up quite a bit. What's going on here? Look at that. There's actual dents. There's scratches. There's a dent here. So this must be guitar that's already been in some reviewer's hand. Yes. Because right here, there's fingerprints and stuff. Okay, so we're not gonna beat it up on that. This is clearly a guitar that's been reviewed before. Strings are a little bit rusty, and the foils are gone from the pickup. So yeah, this guitar has seen some action. But why I went whoa, first of all, seriously? It says 309 on this. It's got Grover locking tuners. You lock them from the top, but you can see that there aren't a lot of twizzly-poos around the stems there, around the shaft. See? They're locked with a screwdriver from the top. And those string trees, which now we have two of, are Graphtec. Hello, Justin! Justin from Graphtec, great guy. They're Graphtec string trees as well as a Graphtec nut, and they're lubricated, which means the strings glide through them quite a bit nicer. The action looks killer. No trem, which is great, because you don't want a trem in that price range. You want a guitar that works. We have a humbucker and a P90, which is a single coil, but it's a fat single coil. And only a 3-position switch, so you got this, and in the middle you've got both of them, so it's a lot easier. The strings go through the body, and these are called ferrules. It is a string-through-body design. For only $100 more, this might be quite a bit more guitar because of the locking tuners, the Graphtec stuff, the P90, no wiggly stick. They save money on painting the guitar, and we can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of wood glued together. That's a money-saving thing, but that's totally okay in this price range. So we're gonna go tune skis again. The E string's there, whoa. Whoa! The strings do sound flat and old. So if there's a little bit of brightness and sparkle missing, that's because of the strings. New strings would easily fix that. But you can hear there's a lot. It's a lot more fuller. The guitar is fuller than the 112. humbucker. Very neat. We're gonna go to the plexi. Let's go to the JCM 800. So for some reason I said JCM 800 and Siri is looking for Disney's Rapunzel. Apparently my language means nothing to her. It's the Morgan. Let's go to the Engel. And the Houston Kettner. This is great if it wasn't beat up and had no strings. I'm gonna tell you, this is exactly $100 more than the 112, and if your parents will get you the budget, spend the extra $100. You got locking tuners, which is great. You have no tremolo, which is great because it doesn't get in your way and it doesn't create problems. You have a P90, which is not so thin and bitey as a single coil. It feels great. If it gets beat up a bit, that's okay. That'll make this guitar look good. So yeah, the 112 for $209 is a pretty great beginner guitar. Personally, and I know you all want it in black because all students want black guitars. Don't buy black guitars, you'll see everything on it. Please stay away from them. This, you won't see anything on it. Like, you can lick it and you won't even see that. Now, I'm gonna get sick. This has clearly been played a bit because the pickguard's all scratched up. But for $300, this is a name brand instrument. Graphtech parts, which is good. This is actually really nice. I'm impressed. You can totally get the 112 if that's all you got in the budget, because you also need to buy an amp and all this stuff. With this, plus an amp, plus all the other stuff you need to get, you're probably looking at least 600 euro. If you're in the 500 euro budget, go get the 112, get an amp, get everything else. If you're in the 600 euro budget, go get this, because this is actually a really good instrument for the money. I'm impressed. I gotta say, because I have to, and it's true, that Yamaha is paying me for these videos, but not my opinion, just my time and the effort and getting to you. I will always say what I want to say. You know, they probably wouldn't like the idea that I showed this with all the dings, but you know, that's what they sent to me, so that's what I'm filming. So no, this is actually pretty good. Links below. And we're gonna put animals at the end. And, well, thanks for watching.
After the trial of love.